We made it, folks. Here it is, the end of the Final Fantasy VI Pro Challenge playthrough, part 23. Let's get it over and done with. Alright, here we go. So, as I said, do not go on to the final switch here. Do not trigger the final battle unless you know exactly what you're doing, and there's a very good reason we stopped here. So, first thing you want to do, make sure all of the party members for all 12 characters that you brought into this dungeon are unequipped with everything. And then you're going to equip only the ones that you know for sure you're going to take into the fight. I'll tell you now, I've already done some preparation here. We're going to use Terra for sure. You don't necessarily have to use the setup that I do. There's many ways to take down this final boss, but this is what I've chosen to do. Terra is going to be my main magic user, so I've elected to use the gem box, which will allow her to cast magic multiple times, along with a gold hairpin, which will half the magic consumption that she normally would have. You know, some people love Go-Go, some people don't. I love to use him mainly to mimic and mirror the Bum Rush skill. There's many ways you can go about doing it. That's how I choose to do it. Hero Ring to boost the damage, Ribbon to eliminate the status effects. Obviously, I'm going to use Sabin. Sabin is a no-brainer for his Bum Rush and power. And then on the other end, I think we're going to be going with Edgar here. Edgar is a nice utility hero for both attacking and magic. Now, there are obviously other heroes that we're going to power up and bring as well, just in case one of these other characters goes down, because as you're going to see, it's not quite as simple as the top four or the final four. You want to get a good chunk of your party decently equipped to where you feel comfortable here, and we'll talk about that in just a second. Alright, so here we go. We go in here. Now, all 12 of our party members that we brought into the dungeon are present, and we are waiting patiently, eerily, ominously, as the man himself, the demigod himself, appears to us in a little cone prism. There he is, that clown machine Kefka. And as much as I love the cutscene here and the music that goes with it in the final battle, that's not why we're doing this challenge. We're going to go ahead and skip through it, and we're going to get ready for the final ultimate battle here. And I got to tell you, this is something else. If you did your preparation, you shouldn't have too much of a problem. Now, don't get me wrong, there's always a hiccup or two that could happen here, and I'm not anticipating, you know, when I did this challenge and recorded it, I certainly wasn't anticipating a perfect run. Although you're going to see there were a number of great things that did happen, and obviously some things that I wasn't anticipating happened as well. But you're going to see that happen just right about here. Alright, now, you want to determine your order, and the reason I say that is if because one of your party members goes down and you don't revive them before you go to the next tier, they will be replaced with somebody else in the order. I recommend setting the first 8 of the party members. You don't have to do that. I feel pretty comfortable with 6. If we get past 6, I'm probably not going to win this anyway. So I'm going to go with my first 6. That's who I've decided to set. And away we go into the final battle between good and evil here. We're going to start with Tier 1. There are 4 different tiers, 4 parts to this. The Visage, Long Arm, and Short Arm. So there are 3 parts to this first part here. And the first thing you want to do is target the head. Take him down immediately. He is very weak to fire, and you're going to be blasting him with Fire 3 or Flare. You might be wondering why I didn't bring Realm. Well, I could have, but I feel that Terra is pretty versatile with both attacking and magic, so that's why I chose to stick with her. Not to mention she's the main protagonist of the game. I feel kind of bad not having her as part of the final battle, so anyway, there you go. I guess I could have, you know, replaced her with Go-Go, but anyway, I digress. Alright, so you might be wondering, why do we want to take out the head first? Well, it's because of what happens if you don't. If you take out the head last, he will cast Quake, which is an attack or a magic spell that hits everybody on screen, and it will cause massive damage. In fact, it may outright kill some of your party members. Now, something else that you see me doing here is I'm casting Quick. You haven't seen me cast Quick throughout the entirety of the game yet, but there's a good reason for it. Number 1, costs 99 MP to cast, so you better have a very good reason for it. But number 2, Quick obviously lets you cast multiple commands here. So when you put Quick on your party members, by the way, I'm going to put it on the 3 that I can, since Go-Go can't cast magic. That's one downside to him. So I'm putting Quick on Terra, Sabin, and Edgar, which will allow them to multicast. It'll allow Terra to use her magic spells twice. It'll allow Sabin to Bum Rush twice, if I'm not mistaken. And Edgar can do his thing twice. So, very useful to have. I'm very, very excited to finally get this over and done with. Alright, and ooh, check that out. 10,000 damage on one Fire 3 spell. So with a quick hit and the gem box equipped, yeah, that's 20,000 damage with Fire 3. We haven't even touched Flare or Merton or anything else fire related here. Fire 3 is more than enough. Would it be nice to have Flare? Yeah, but whatever, we're fine. Oh yeah, not to mention we can always use Morph for even double the damage. which I didn't even do yet. So wait till we get later into this fight, see what you got here. Honestly, I gotta say, this first tier of the final Kefka fight is not very difficult at all. The only thing you gotta remember to do is take down the face first, or second. Just don't leave him for last. If you leave him for last, we already talked about what happens here. Not a very fun situation. Nothing too critical that you need to worry about in this first phase. So take him down quick, take him down fast. There will be some instances with the arms where they will cast some attacks, such as the shockwave, where they could pretty much outright kill a character, so you do need to be careful in that regard. I suppose it might be helpful to cast Life 3 as an insurance policy. I will say right now that you will be casting Life 3 as you get later into this fight, but right about now shouldn't be much of a problem, as you can clearly see. So that's going to do it for the first tier. Let's go ahead and skip up to the second tier, and we will chime in then. Alright, we enter into the second tier of this battle, and in my opinion, it is the toughest of all of the tiers. So there's 4 different parts, and there's a couple things you want to do right out of the chute. Number 1, that character on the far left, yeah, that guy, Magic is his name. Make sure you cast Mute on him immediately, and you can probably take a guess why based on his name. He loves to cast magic spells, and they are mostly status-inducing spells. So if you mute him immediately, not only is he susceptible to it, boom, done. Obviously, Mute is not going to kill anybody, but it's going to prevent him from basically doing anything, because I don't think he does any kind of physical attacks. So take him out of the equation immediately, and then you can focus on everybody else. So with Mute out of there, the main character you want to focus all your attention on is the tiger-looking character in the bottom right. So yes, just like that. Hit him hard, hit him fast, take him down quickly, because he definitely has the most imposing attacks that you need to worry about here. So once he's gone, you can then focus your attention on the other characters here. Get rid of the tiger first. Bum rushes are always useful. It really doesn't matter too much who you hit here. Oh, by the way, this is an ugly attack, Flare Star. Now fortunately, we don't have to worry too much about this because we have armor on that will negate that entirely. Not to mention we've got pretty high resistance to a lot of magical attacks in some cases here. Now Sabin did get hit with a Zombify spell, or a Zombify attack I should say, so fortunately that Bum Rush hit the enemy and it didn't hit us, because we all know very well that the zombie status can be turned against you, right? So anytime that that's going to happen, make sure that you cast Revivify immediately, or you can always come into the battle with a ribbon. You don't have to worry about that stuff. I prefer to live a little bit dangerously and take my chances and do heavy damage here. Delta hit, last time we saw this was in the battle with the 3 Dream Stooges, and it still turns people to stone. If and when that happens, make sure that you bust out the soft or the remedy. You know, get people out of that phase, out of that status. We've got 2 people in bad shape right now. Unfortunately, Sabin is still attacking, but we can't rely on that, and Edgar is not doing anything, obviously. So we want to get people out of these phases ASAP. Looks like Edgar is safe now. And we're going to have to get Sabin out of there pretty quickly before he uses a Bum Rush on us. And yeah, at this point, yeah, Tier 2, it's not a bad idea to use Terra or even Gogo as a healer. You know, somebody, make sure that somebody is a dedicated healer for this battle. If not, you will be hurting in a big, big way before you enter the 3rd tier here. It's very easy to forget about your health totals when you're so focused on dealing maximum damage here, and I encourage you not to let that happen. That was a pretty ugly attack that can be very annoying, but thankfully we have characters that are not only completely negating that damage, but also absorbing it. So we're in pretty good shape right now. We came in with the right stuff equipped to handle this 2nd tier, so that's a very good thing, obviously. Cure 3 is a very good spell to have at all times. Make sure you're always casting it. Just do heavy damage, that's really all it is. So, once again, I have to reiterate, make sure that Mute is muted and he can't cast his magic. Make sure you take out the tiger quickly. Oh, one more thing I will mention here. Hit, which is the blue guy riding the top of the tiger, right there, right? Try, if you can, try not to take him out last, because what's going to happen is he has a final attack called 10 hits. And you're going to see that a little bit later in this tier here when he does eventually go down. The only way that you can feasibly avoid that final 10-hit attack is if you have the Palador Esper equipped and you're using it and all of your characters are flying off screen, or if you happen to have all of your characters equipped with Jump. That's the only real way you could possibly avoid all 10 of those hits. But anyway, I digress once again. Let's just go ahead and let this battle play out until we get to that penultimate part here. And the rest of these fights, the rest of these hits should be pretty self-explanatory and simple here. So eventually they will go down quarter would have been nasty had it hit, so thankfully that mute is still muted. Take him out quick, and now I should mention though that even though he is muted, that doesn't mean that he will permanently, as you can clearly see, eventually the mute spell will wear off, so you got to be constantly aware of that. Eventually it may be beneficial to remute him, because as you can see, he's kind of pissed off that we had him muted for all that time. Now he's doing damage, now he's dispelling all the buffs that we have on our characters here, so don't worry, don't feel bad if you have to remute the character. It's not the end of the world. You can see he's trying to recast mute here. And this second tier is just about done. You're about to see the 10-hit final hit come out here. It's, I would say, just about any second now. And we're going to see what happens. So I would say one final thing here. If you know that hit is about to go down and he's low on health, do what I'm doing here. Start casting safe on your characters, because hits are obviously physical hits, and you want to half and negate as much of that damage as humanly possible here. So obviously having quick already equipped and cast on your characters will help get the safe spell cast a lot quicker, for lack of a better word. So we got it on Terra, Sabin. Let's see if we can get it out on to Edgar and Gogo before... Oh, too late. Ooh, that's ugly. There's one avoided, two avoided. One of them hit Gogo, three avoided. Gogo can probably sustain one more hit if we're lucky. Oh, that was the 10th hit right there. Oh, boy. And, man, we committed two serious faux pas right here. So, number one, we killed Hit last. We let him do his 10-hit final hit at the very end. We should not have done that. And number two, we probably should have given Gogo the safe spell much, much sooner. In fact, we didn't get a chance to put it on him at all. We waited too late into the tier for that to happen. So, two very major mistakes we made there. Fortunately, it didn't cost us Gogo. Had he gone down, he would have been replaced with our 5th character in the list. We do need him alive, preferably. Alright, now into the 3rd tier, you notice we've only got 2 enemies on this tier, Lady and Rest. First thing you want to do is take out Lady, who looks like the lady overseeing the guy on the shoulder, right? The reason you want to take her down quickly is because she will cast Life 2 if you take the other guy out first, which, as you know by this point, Life 2 brings people completely back from death back to full health, which is very annoying. The good news is that Lady only has 10,000 HP, so depending on how highly leveled your characters are, it might take only 2 hits from a button rush to take her down. Fenrir Esper, yes, this is very interesting. Now, you're going to see another faux pas I make, but let's talk about it now. The Fenrir Esper casts Mirage, kind of like a ninja, right? It's going to allow you to evade various attacks. If you have it equipped, and you have it cast at the very end of this tier, when Rest goes down, he's going to cast a spell called Calmness, which is basically an insta-kill death. It could go once, it could go twice. He could insta-kill 1 or 2 characters, which means even though you will move on to the final tier, you could potentially lose 1 to 2 characters here. And obviously that's going to screw your day up if you had plans for the final boss in the final tier here. Now, that being said, let's go ahead and take out Lady first so we don't have to worry about killing this guy who's resting here in an armchair twice. Now, what I probably should do is target Lady all by herself, right? Why not just use a magic attack? Well, if you have Ultima, you can certainly do that. Unfortunately for us, I never learned the Ultima spell. The only way I could possibly learn it at this point is to have gotten the Cursed Shield out of Narsh and fought 255 random battles to turn it into the Paladin Shield. I chose not to do that. I don't feel like torturing myself. But it's not the end of the world, and it's not that big of a deal. Lady goes down with physical attacks just fine. And then make sure you have Life 3 cast and equipped on all of your characters. Oh, ho, 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 ho. We got very lucky. Now, fortunately, I don't think it would have mattered. Gogo, if I'm not mistaken, I think he had Life 3 equipped, but obviously he dodged the Calmness. High dodge stats, high magic dodge stats go, they work wonders so much. You probably saw a lot of occasions where there were dodges and misses, and that's all because of the high dodge evade stat and the magic evade stat. Get that equipped, get that high as you possibly can before you enter this final battle here. Oh, by the way, gotta say, this is one of my favorite video game theme songs of all time. And I'm not just talking about the opening choir hymn here, I'm talking about the entire soundtrack that you're about to hear throughout this final battle. And unfortunately, I can't let it play out without narration over top, lest I want a copyright strike, so I will have to let this go as I'm talking. Alright, so what's happening here? Kefka's ready to slam us and take us down, right? No, he obliterated the world, so now we're about to obliterate him. Now, Kefka does have some very, very ugly, nasty attacks. Yeah, shut up. So, 62,000 HP, he does not have any weaknesses. If you have Ultima, you can absolutely destroy him without even thinking about a strategy. Unfortunately, we don't, so we're going to have to actually plan and do something here. Oh yeah, by the way, here's the Fenrir Esper. We should have done this before on the prior stage, on the prior tier. That would have completely negated calmness. Fortunately, we got extremely lucky and Go-Go dodged a bullet there. But that's what it would have looked like had we been able to cast it. Ooh, Fallen. Fallen 1. When this hits, and it will, it drops every character in your party down to 1 HP. Burn one of your Mega Elixirs immediately after Fallen 1 hits. If you have Locke in your party, by the way, Kefka does have a Mega Elixir in his possession. You can steal one off of him if you do not have one, which you absolutely should. Really, the only time you should be burning Mega Elixirs in this game at all is right here in the final battle in the final tier. So what are we doing here as far as strategy itself? Hit him hard, hit him fast. He has no real weakness. So one thing that you're seeing with Edgar, he has the Genji Glove and the Offering with 2 very powerful weapons. That's good for at least 9, 10, 11,000 damage per turn. And considering that, yeah, Sabin has close to 10,000 damage on a Bum Rush, Go-Go comes pretty close. Yeah, I don't think it's going to take much strategy here, honestly. We're only at level 40, 45, 50 average. It shouldn't be too tough to take him down, obviously. But you do want to work quick, because if you get him down to half health or quarter health, and you dilly-dally for whatever reason, he will make you pay for it. Now, Hyperdrive, as you can see, is a one-shot kill for just about any hero in your party here if they're not sufficiently leveled, which, unfortunately, they're not in our case. So Hyperdrive is a one-shot kill. We do need to be careful here. So basically the screen is shaking. It's going to indicate a very annoying, powerful attack called Goner, and that could very conceivably end the fight if our characters are not leveled up. Fortunately, Sabin is extremely high leveled and powered, so it's not that big a deal. Oh, by the way. Ha ha ha! Die, you stupid-ass clown. You wasted 21 hours of my life, but I couldn't be happier to say that this challenge, number 143 for Final Fantasy VI, is in the books. And hopefully none of these challenges will ever be anywhere close to it ever again. I couldn't tell you how many days and weeks and months of my life I wasted doing this one challenge, but it wasn't really a waste. It was fun. One of my favorite games of all time. Alright, so that's in the books. So what do we look forward to now? What games we have on the horizon? I honestly have to go back and see what I had on the gamut prior to this game. I'm thinking Lolo 3 was on there. I know Bart vs. the Space Mutants is on there. We have a couple games out there, and I'm excited to finally once again get back to working on different games. Thank you guys for sticking around. Take care.